Well, listen to this, everybody. For more than 50 years after the Beatles split up, they have a new single out. It is called Now and Then. This is a track that John Lennon recorded, but he wasn't able to finish. And now with the help of AI, all 4 band members came together to complete it. The question we're asking, though, is this a positive example of the potential of artificial intelligence? Or is anybody freaked out at all about this?
Okay, well, this will be interesting because I think it's okay. I think this was great. And judging from your reaction and people who are crying listening to this song in the UK, I think it's a lovely thing. And I wonder if it's because in this particular case, the stakes feel low. Like, this is one of the world's most beloved bands. The estates of everyone who's with us and not with us all agreed to it. And they put out, you know, like a lovely song that's been remastered by AI. So I don't have a problem with this, but I even have a hard time getting riled up about any AI remastering of posthumous work. Is that how I would say that? Like, I just think it's exciting and that we have the capability today to always make the distinction. You know, between like, yes, this is the definitive work, insert artist's name, painter, poet, musician, and then this is the work that AI remastered. We're always going to be able to tell the difference, not tell the difference, but recognize the difference.
Label the difference.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think that just creates conversation. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see Sappho's poems, AI tackle those.
Sorry, who?
The Sappho, she's
sorry.
I need to. No, she's like this really, like some of Bach's music, Sappho, think of Mark Twain or Ernest Hemingway. Like, there are so many people that have these works that were left unfinished.
Tupac?
Let AI have a crack at finishing it. Yeah. It's not like we're gonna wonder if they finished it, if it's their work or the one that AI did. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you, but I don't agree with you.
Go on.
And here's the deal. My issue is not with the technology. My issue is with the ethics of posthumously releasing work from an artist without their written consent. And we need to think about that. And I get it. Like, everybody had a reaction to, you know, the Beatles because we have that feeling. They were a wonderful band. They put out great music. And if you were around at that time, Beatlemania was incredible. And you were probably a young woman. It was an exciting time, but that time has passed. And what people need to understand is when Paul McCartney said, you know what, he was asked, do you think that John Lennon would be okay with this? I cringed because I'm like, he said, I think he would love this. And I'm like, I don't like the talking on behalf of the dead. You cannot say for sure if he was gonna like this. And also—
But he's dead, who cares?
No, I hear what you're saying, who cares? But when there's money at the end of it, you do have to care.
His family is getting the money.
Yeah, exactly. Who's getting that money?
I don't know that, like, when I think about, like, money isn't, they don't need money. Like, they're not out there to, like, make a ton more money. They already have a ton of money. I think that this is an example of artistry by technology. Technology and music have been intertwined for, like, 146 years. That's when the first recording device was created by Thomas Edison in 1877. That's technology. So technology has evolved to a point today where, yeah, we're using AI, but it's not like AI independently went and created the song. There's a sound engineer who's involved in the process. There are programmers who are involved in the process, computer engineers who are using their artistry to create this. That's incredible in its own right. So yeah, John Lennon had a performance and he was an artist. They're artists too. Right? And so I think we're seeing the evolution of this. You think of sound engineers, and they put this work in all the time. You actually go back in the Beatles' discography, and the song Strawberry Fields Forever, we all know that one, right? Yeah. Well, the version we know and love isn't the original one recorded time version. There were 2 different versions that were recorded. One was slower in one key, the other was faster in another key. And John Lennon himself said, I like the beginning of this one, I like the end of this one. Can you push it together? But they spliced it together and created what we love today. It wasn't the original, and we still love it. So
but
why
it was
can't
still
we
with
love
his
this?
consent, so I can see what you're saying.
It goes back to my original point.
Yeah.
And in the in the late 90s, George was actually at odds with Paul about releasing this very song because he's like, this song is not ready to be released. So he wasn't happy about it, and he was a member of that band. That's where I'm saying it gets a little complicated with us just going, yeah, this is great because we want to hear the music, but it's like, how about the artists? The artist has to say.
What about the fan base? I think we do get a say here. I'm not saying I'm the biggest Beatles fan, but my mother-in-law is a massive Beatles fan. And this is a really big moment because you get new Beatles music, which in 2023 is kind of astounding. But when I think about, do you guys remember when Kanye and Rihanna and Paul McCartney released 4 or 5 Seconds? Do you guys remember this song? Mm-hmm. And there were young people on the formerly known as Twitter, now known as X, saying, wow, Kanye's given this old guy a shot. They had no idea who Paul McCartney was.
That's embarrassing.
Now, that's embarrassing. However, if you take a look at the fan base, the turning over of a fan base, this new song is not only bridging the gap from fans from the get, but young new fans who found the Beatles over time, who were not alive when they were alive, but they get new music. And I think that is the legacy of great art. It lives, and I love that.
I think this really speaks to Paul McCartney's love of the Beatles. Paul McCartney has been the guy from the beginning of time.
Wait, his love of the Beatles or his love of money?
No, his love, I would say, no. I would say it's the love of the Beatles. You go back through interviews that Paul McCartney did, and he was always the guy who was like, no, we're good friends. We love each other. Like, things are all good with us. This is, I feel like, his love letter to John Lennon, his goodbye to say to him, thank you. I saw, when I watched the video, and you should, because you'll cry, I feel closure. I feel closure for him, and I feel closure for fans. So I get what you're saying, Andrea. I get, like, he's not here. John Lennon, we don't know what he's gonna say. George Harrison can say, well, it was unfinished. Yeah, it was, but we fixed it with AI. Now it's finished.
But he's a part of that band, and he didn't have any say in the way that it was fixed, and that's where I have a problem. Like, think about think about an artist like Prince. Prince was very, if you're a Prince fan, you know, he was very, very adamant about his work and owning his masters, and apparently there's this vault with 100 years worth of music, and we all, if you're a Prince fan, you respect that we're never gonna hear that music, but his family has gone ahead since his death in 2016, and they've re-released super deluxe versions of his hit albums. And I, as a fan, I will never, ever buy it because I know how he felt about his music, I know how seriously he took it, and that he wanted the final word on the product that was put out there. And if once he's gone in 2016, he doesn't get that say, I'm not touching that music.
But the distinction for you as a fan doesn't matter. That the distinction made between these are the songs that Prince released, you know, knowing that he wanted them released, and the distinction between he didn't want these released, but we'll hear them and we can talk.
Well, it's out.
Prince
Go
fans.
listen to it. That's the last word because we have to go to break. That's what they're telling me in my ear. That was a great chat. No, that was a great chat.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.